What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another NFL Showdown edition of our DFS breakdown here at Fantasy Sports Insight. This is Hold the Door DFS with some Monday Night Football action. I had a lot of driving to do today, so we did not get any Sunday night action up, but we did have our core plays in our Fantasy Sports Insight premium NFL Discord channel. You can find that link below. But we are going to I'm going to start trying to do a little bit different format for these breakdowns. So make sure you're listening to this entire video. I'm going to talk about the game in general here, some injuries, odds, just kind of how I think the game is going to go. And then I'm going to kind of move into a 3-2-1 format. So 3 of my favorite cash optimal plays, 2 of my favorite values, and then probably 1 will be my biggest fade. So kind of the 3-2-1 format. So be sure to listen up. And if you have not hit that subscribe button, hit that, please. We are less than 25 subscribers away from our big 1,000 subscriber milestone. A lot of you that are listening have been super supportive of all of our content at FSI, and we greatly appreciate that. So if you can hit that like button, throw a comment in there, find a couple people to subscribe, that would be phenomenal. That is the best way you can repay us for this free content. So let's jump into the slate. Bucks at the Giants. The Bucks are a -13 favorite. Obviously, we have Tom Brady here against Daniel Jones, as you can see on the cover. An over/under of only 45. The big injury news here: Freeman on the short week last week. He got hurt, but no one really knew if he got hurt in that game, and then didn't really play the rest of the game. He is out, and I think that bumps up. Wayne Gallman is going to be the starting running back. His price has been adjusted for that a little bit. I still think he's probably too cheap for his role at 5,200. So I think he will be definitely somebody to look to target. Just from a volume standpoint, it's not that the matchup is that good, but an RB1 at that price tag with not really a lot of competition for like the first and second down carries. But Dion Lewis is another benefit to that injury that will obviously have just a larger role in passing situations. The other major injury is on the Bucs side. Godwin will be out. And that's just going to, overall bump all the receivers. Mike Evans has had some insane games already without Godwin in the mix. We have Miller, and then we also have our former Gopher Tyler Johnson. So who I think is another primetime game where he played really well in those same circumstances. So again, the 13-point over/under, or 13-point spread, I think obviously leads us to believing that the Bucs will dominate this game and be in control most of the game. So let's get into it. As I already talked about the odds here, Bucs still -13, over/under 45, -75, 750 money line. So we definitely want to get our eggs in the Tampa basket tomorrow. So let's start out with those 3 cash optimal plays. And no question, Tom Brady at 12,000 is going to be in my cash lineup. I don't know that I will absolutely use him at captain. I don't know that that's absolutely necessary, but just because his price tag is so egregious at 12,000, but it makes sense. It's a slate that now without Godwin and a really struggling Giants team, that DFS wise, you're going to get the most floor and consistency here out of Tom Brady. So he is my number 1 cash lock. I think you can use him at captain in cash, but it might not be as optimal to use him in the captain slot in GPPs. As we've seen, that statistically is not the best way to win GPPs. My second core cash play tomorrow, again, really focusing more on the studs here, is going to be Daniel Jones at 9,200. Again, I think the Giants options are so spread out and thin that there's not a lot of value around. I mean, there's some plays we'll talk about here in a little bit, but I think for cash optimal plays at 9,200, I think that A is a really nice discount for a starting quarterback. And B, we know he has the ability to run, just not, hopefully he doesn't get tripped up by himself in this game, but we know he has the ability to run the ball. He can score a rushing touchdown. I still think he can score a touchdown or two through the air. They likely will be losing throughout the game. So him throwing the ball, especially without their starting running back and Devonta Freeman, I think Daniel Jones is my lock for my second favorite cash play. The third is going to be either play both or an option between Mike Evans and Miller. Probably my two other favorite cash plays. Evans, we know, has only combined for like a total of 4 targets in the last couple games. But we also know the reverse of that. When Godwin has been out for his 2 other games, I think Evans had like, over 25 targets or something in those 2 games, some crazy number. So Evans, his price is just reflective of that Godwin injury, where Miller is not. And 8,600 for Miller might get you to some other spots. I do think Mike Evans will be pretty popular. It's just going to be difficult to use Mike Evans in Tom Brady captain lineups and Daniel Jones, and then feel really good about the rest of your lineup. So, take it for what it's worth, but I think Mike Evans and Scotty Miller are both firmly in play. I actually think, someone like Miller is a nice low key captain option that has some upside. We do know, just another mention on the pass catchers here for Tampa. Gronk obviously has had a little bit of a emergence here. Eight targets in the last 2 games, has had a touchdown in both games. So I definitely don't mind Gronk here. I do think the $8,000 price tag is just a little bit too much. But again, with Godwin out, it could present an opportunity for Gronk to get back and continue to score a touchdown and have that 10 to 15 point DK night. Just in general, New York Giant pass catchers, I'm kind of just fading Slayton, Shepard, and unless you fall in that range, I guess not a complete fade, but it's just hard to say which one you really like the most. I think Slayton, Shepard, and then you got Golden Tate all the way down at 3,000. So let's get into the next portion of my 3-2-1 is my 2 favorite values, and Golden Tate actually does qualify, as a non-kicker. Kickers are always obviously decent value, but I do think Golden Tate at 3,000 has touchdown equity, and can definitely catch a lot of short passes in bunches. He only had 2 targets last game. One went for a 39-yard touchdown. That would have paid off his price tag. But last week he was like 6,800 or something like that. 3,000 seems like a way too big of a price drop for someone like Golden Tate. So he is one of my favorite values of the slate, but probably easily my favorite value is Dion Lewis at 1,200. I think it's going to be really difficult for him to not pay off his price tag. We haven't seen a lot of really good games here, and that's why his price has kind of stayed where it is. But with Devonta Freeman out, Gallman going to take the starting running back position, it leads you to believe that he will definitely get some touches through the air, likely. So 1 or 2 catches, and he's already meeting, doubling his salary. Just to mention back to Wayne Gallman here, 5,200. Likely going to see the starting running back role. Obviously, if they're losing, it's going to change things up a little bit. He's not going to probably be getting a ton of carries, but I would definitely consider him in the mid-range along with Evan Ingram, who I think are both too cheap for their role. We saw Ingram starting to emerge a little bit, but that's where I'm just talking about the delineation of like Slayton, Shepard, and Ingram here are all in a really tight price window that it feels like you're overpaying for a lot of unknowns. So my fade here is the running backs for Tampa Bay. Ronald Jones at 8,800, Fournette at 6,200. Again, there's just a lot of unknown. Fournette last week, gets the 11 carries, 50 yards, catches 6 balls to the air, 15 DK. I think that repeats? No. In this little blurb down here from DK that Bruce Arians is using him as a nickel running back. So somebody in the hurry up and clear passing situations. Do I think that they're going to be in a situation that they need to be clearly passing or hurrying up at all in this game? No. I think Ronald Jones would be the one out there, but then at 8,800 with Fournette's role cutting into his, I feel like he's he's too expensive. I'd much rather pay for Miller or Jones in that, sandwiched in between, sandwiching Ronald Jones in that price window. So that's kind of my point. I think Fournette has more value in GPP just with the cheaper price tag and a higher upside. If he has something similar to last game. So that's, like I said, that's my 3-2-1. Three favorite cash plays: Brady, Jones, and then a choice between Evans and Miller. Two favorite values will be Golden Tate and Dion Lewis. And then my biggest fade here is going to be Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette. If you want my full core plays, check us out at Fantasy Sports Insight. I will have those posted for FanDuel and DraftKings in our Discord channel. Again, if you have not hit that subscribe button, please do so. It is greatly appreciated. And we hope to see you back at our channel for all the great content we have from all of our providers. And we use, try to have a wide range of sports that are covered. So if there's something that you're not seeing that you would love to see, make sure to reach out. We are looking at adding some more just season-long fantasy football content. And then as obviously as the other sports come back here in the winter, we will be adding more content to our channel as well. So signing out. Thanks a lot.